congratulations to the Texas Rangers, World Series champions. First time in their franchise history. Kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago where we were saying that really the MLB postseason had been relatively disappointing, especially leading up to the championship series. And then the championship series really, kind of brought everyone's hopes back up because, we had some Game 7s and it was really exciting. And then World Series comes around and kind of a bummer again. But,
I think the Texans just played really well.
They did.
I don't know if it was it's just a good performance.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been a bad, it wasn't really a bad series. I just think one team just showed up and the other one didn't really.
It was just, I was kind of hoping for, I think we all said that, going to 6 or going to 7 when you were doing predictions. And I think everyone was kind of hoping for that. Didn't happen, obviously. Went 5 games. So, gentleman's sweep for the Texas Rangers. That's pretty, good stuff for them.
I honestly thought that after Garcia and Scherzer would be out.
Scherzer? Yeah, Garcia was a big loss.
I kind of thought that it could have shifted the series. And then at the same time, it didn't really do anything. But
yeah. I mean, obviously, they won without Garcia, so.
And Scherzer didn't play a huge role.
No.
Really in the playoffs at all.
Retirement home. He's going there next season, unfortunately. Yeah, so really it was just kind of like you said, one team played well, the other team didn't really live up to expectations. The Texas offense really came through in every game other than Game 2, and they put up a lot of big leads fast in a lot of the games, especially Game 4. They had just piled on a bunch of runs, ended up being 11-7 was the final score.
Because wasn't it 10-0 at one point?
It was, and then the Diamondbacks put up all their runs in I think the last 2 innings. So, yeah, I mean that could have been a close game. Really, Game 5 could have been close as well because Zach Gallen had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. Before World Series MVP Corey Seager broke it up with a single, and then that was followed up by 2 more hits from the Rangers, and he scored the winning run. So, I guess that's the other thing. Shout out to Corey Seager. In the World Series, slashed 286, 375, and 762. 3 home runs, 6 RBI, and 16 total bases in 5 games. Throughout the entire postseason, he hit 318 with a 451 on base and 682 slugging. 6 home runs, 12 RBIs in 17 games. He's been a phenomenal playoff performer since forever. Now that's his 2nd World Series MVP that he's won. Really kind of, like you said, mentioned the Adolis Garcia injury, really kind of carried the team after that. Marcus Semien had a couple good hits.
At the end, because he started out very poorly.
So, I mean, it was Corey Seager's team there for, the end of it, and that Texas offense was just too much for the Diamondbacks to overcome. And one of the things I saw after Game 4 was that Corey Seager had some similar postseason stats to Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. At the time, they had both played 77 career games, and now Seager's at 78. So Seager has him matched with 48 RBI and has him up by 1 homer, 19-18. So that's pretty crazy when you consider that Reggie Jackson's probably one of the most prolific postseason hitters in baseball history. However, Seager, although they do have similar games, Seager has had 28 more plate appearances, so that's a bit of an asterisk. But whatever, still a cool stat. And then, like you said, the Adolis Garcia injury was a big loss. Obviously not big enough to affect the series in any meaningful way, but I think he had that World Series MVP locked up if he didn't get injured. If he stayed healthy, I think it was pretty much his award to lose. In the postseason,
it sucks to see they couldn't. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
It sucks to see they couldn't finish off that postseason. That he was just dynamite.
He was on such a tear, especially against the Astros. But I have some of his stats down here. 323 with a 382 on base and 726 slugging, 8 home runs, 22 RBI, which I believe is a postseason record. I think he set the record for most RBI in a single series against the Astros. That's what it was. 45 total bases on 20 hits. Just so many clutch moments, grand slams against the Astros. Just really putting up some crazy numbers. Then obviously he had the walk-off home run to win Game 1 for the Rangers. So that was pretty exciting. I think Game 1 was really the most exciting game in the series because it just came to extras and it was a 1-run game. Like I mentioned earlier, is really just a story that one offense showed up and one kind of didn't, although the Diamondbacks did still put up a pretty good fight. I think it was a closer series than maybe the record would show, but Texas 4-1. Nate Eovaldi, Zach Gallen both looked fantastic in Game 5. Really, it was really not what I was hoping for. I really wanted to see a Game 7 winner take all kind of deal, but you can't always get what you want. However, one thing I will mention is with the success of Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel in the postseason and how good they've played, it's really kind of brought the Dalton Varsho trade back to the surface. But listen, all I'm saying is Dalton Varsho's never grounded out bases loaded in the World Series. I've never seen him do that. So I don't know. He might be better than Gurriel. That's all I'm saying. Moreno and Gurriel both looked fantastic for their first World Series run. Really impressive stuff from both sides. And I think if you're a Diamondbacks fan, I don't think this is the end. This isn't like you're not a one-year wonder. Got lots of young guys on your team that are super talented, so I think they'll be back. And kind of the same with Texas, although they do have some guys that are heading out, like we mentioned, Max Scherzer is getting up there in age. Maybe this is his final run. Who knows? He's a bit of a nut job, so maybe he'll just keep pitching until his arm falls off. But Texas has got a good farm system and lots of young players locked up, so I don't know. Maybe this is a matchup we'll see in the future. But overall, I think postseason was pretty good, and as much as we all wanted it to go a little longer, the World Series, I thought it was pretty entertaining. And, kind of wraps up the 2023 MLB season.